That's all I've got so far, but then I thought
Good afternoon, good evening, actually. The sun is still shining pretty bright on this May Sunday, sunny Sunday. 5:25.
515.
5:15. Oh, that's the magic stuff right there. Things come around. There's these patterns and these suggestions from them, and I guess I don't know that comes from us maybe. But things just happen. And welcome to Outer Space Variety Hour, first of all. We appreciate you being here. If you want to join us, let us know. Like every week, just comment, and we'll give you some time on the show. My name is Julio Perdido. That's Sean Perdido right back there.
Good evening.
This song's about making some breakfast. It's called Flipping Pancakes. How much longer will you stay with me? I say how much longer will you stay with me? Tell me how much longer will you stay with me? I'll do the things in life to stand by you. I'll take my time and try, but so how much longer will you stay with me? 'Cause I know it's getting harder to stay with me. So how much longer will you stay with me? I'll do the things in life to stand by you. I'll take my time and try now. Cry. If I was stronger, a little stronger, I could hold on a little longer. So how much longer will you stay with me? Tell me how much longer will you stay with me? Tell me how much longer will you stay with me? Well, hopefully you stick around for this whole show, because we got some really fun stuff to share with you tonight. Hera has a heart, and I wonder if she knows what it's like to have a broken heart. She has one, I'm sure she must. I feel like it's something that happens to us all along this journey of life. And Hera does so many wonderful things. And by that I mean she's a music educator. She's a volunteer fire person. She does K-Mud radio stuff. She's got some albums out there. She's working on a punk rock opera called Madness. And up next we have a song called Kittens.
Kittens. Yeah.
We love kittens.
Thanks, Jesse, for sending this our way. And here it is.
Oh, that's what it's like, folks. You got stuff you can share, a song, a clip, I don't know, anything, an announcement, which we have some. We have some coming up. Not yet. What we have now is a dearly, dearly beloved friend of the show. It's Fig. That's right. Feeling is good indeed.
Hi.
Hi.
Oh. Can you
And
hear
here
me?
they are.
What?
You might know them from Blood Honey and just being a badass all around. Also a sweet ass. Like, I think we gotta remember people are super sweet too, and that's really nice to appreciate about each other. How you doing, Fig?
I'm doing pretty good. I just that's a good point. I think here's my dog. Yeah, like badass and nice don't have to be mutually exclusive.
Right.
Yeah, I always am confused when people say I'm a badass because I don't feel like it, but I'm like, cool. It's cool if you feel that way.
Yeah, I mean, every once in a while, I'm still like, me?
My ass is so bad. Everyone's gonna get sick of it. As making inside jokes. Anyways,
So what's going on?
what's up? Well, I have my tarot cards, and I thought maybe if there was interest, I could do a tarot thing of some sort.
There is interest. I feel like I've heard that Mercury is in retro
Gatorade.
in reggaeton,
Oh yes.
and isn't there also lunar eclipse tonight or something like that?
That's correct.
Fully.
Pretty powerful stuff, right?
Well, that's say,
Yeah.
Okay, I put my headphones
I
on,
was
so now
wondering about that stuff.
I feel like I'm into it. I mean, the way I see it, I don't think that humans can stop. Like, I don't think we can stop ourselves from making meaning out of things we experience, right? Like,
Nah.
we just kind of constantly.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, yes, we have to.
Must recognize patterns.
Must recognize. Yeah, like we're just experiencing chaos, and I mean, patterns are obviously like a thing, but it's kind of how we function is by looking for them. So to me, things like astrology and tarot are less of a like, oh, here's because there's like the internal and external locus of control thing.
Totally. Yeah.
Whereas like basically, if anyone doesn't know what that is, you likely have one of two ways of kind of seeing feeling how the universe works, which is either that like you have influence and kind of make your reality to an extent, like you have control over what's happening, or an external locus of control, which is more aligned with like things just happen to you, and you don't really have any control or influence. Things do happen, right? And I don't think it's like necessarily either like you feel one way or the other entirely, right? Like I think everyone recognizes that we have some degree of influence over our life, regardless of. But essentially, like people who ascribe to some of the more traditional, most common religions tend to have an external locus of control.
You mean the ones that colonialism and imperialism kind of like stamped on a lot of people? Those ones, right?
So some of those, yeah. Christianity being one for sure.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's nice to have an internal locus of control to a degree, because then I think you tend to be more proactive and having, I don't know. And so the reason I'm saying all this is because I think things like tarot or astrology can easily become something that you make an external locus of control, right? It's like, oh, I'm just controlled by the stars, I'm controlled by the moon or whatever. So for me, I rather than do that, I try to just recognize that since I'm making patterns anyway, since I'm making meaning out of my observations anyway, I can use tools to like organize my experience. And like tarot is one of the tools that I choose to use to organize my experiences. Like as a framework, I find it helpful because a lot of the cards in here represent somewhat universal human experiences.
I agree. I think it's something I tell Julian a bunch is like, these are just ways for us to be able to understand each other and ourselves with what's going on, if we're like receptive to it or open or interested in kind of understanding because there's all information, and we could either just kind of take it out, right? Like about cards, I get like some of the cards people that might not know look really intimidating as you see it, but when you actually kind of spend time with it, there's just like everything else. There's so much more to it.
The only card that sucks is the tower. Just kidding. No card sucks, but there are
That's what
some
Torres
that. Is that true? I didn't know that.
Torres is towers. I learned
That's
about
sick.
that. Good thing I'm
Well,
not a
and so the-
card.
Yeah.
Well, the tower is that's kind of a joke. I mean,
No, I know.
That's a
and that's
because
what I'm
it's like-
referring to.
the tower is like usually appears to and it represents something that is like when you see, I'm trying to find the tower in here. It's like there's a freaking tower and there's like a lightning storm. It's just something that you cannot ignore. Like it's like fucking tower on the horizon, and there's and it usually is like kind of suddenly, like you're like. So I always imagine you're like walking along and you come over like a hill, and suddenly there's like a fucking tower, and you're like, oh. So it's usually intense. It's not like always bad. That's kind of just a joke, but like a lot of times can represent something unexpected and like kind of earth shattering.
Oh yeah.
So that's fun. That I didn't know your last name meant tower.
Yeah, I just was like, what does it mean? A long time ago, and that's what it came to. Of course,
There's
that
my
was the
tower
internet.
card.
That's the tower card. It looks like, yeah, striking for sure.
And like another thing that this card sometimes alludes to is like breaking down of systems, and like because you can see this tower is like collapsing.
Tower of Babel.
Tower
Look at that
card.
fucking eye.
Spitting fire.
You would
Yeah, it's
think
like its
that's
mouth.
Marina.
It's like. "Brr, brr, 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 brr."
Marina believes it's smoking.
This tower is high as fuck right now.
Whoa.
That's a
Getting
good word
down.
for
Tower getting down.
Okay.
This is six. So,
What's
anyways,
the
yeah, I.
question or what's the thing? Yeah, what's going on?
Well, I don't know. I was just like, I'm just wondering if anyone there has a question that I could do a card pull for.
How
It
about
doesn't
the
have to be like a
viewers?
personal, yeah, or a viewer. I guess that's what I meant by theirs.
Yeah. So a question. Say that again.
Oh, just any question. It could be like a personal question or like a general question.
We're on the verge of having a question.
We're on the verge of total societal collapse.
Well, I'm not sure. I feel
Well,
like
yeah.
we're already in it.
I mean, verge is so relative.
Yeah. Some people are closer to the tower than others.
Finally reached
I know a
the
guy
age.
named Verge.
That's cool.
We're not very close.
There was that band, The Urge.
There's the Edge,
There's
Edge.
the Verve.
bassist,
The
or no
Verve.
guitar player for you too.
Oh,
Sounds
Veg.
Like you wanna know.
veg. Oh, they're probably veg.
Dude, I could pull that. I could ask one.
Yeah,
It's-
do that.
I mean, I guess is tarot really for yes or no questions? I think isn't it
No.
more of a It's more interpretive.
But you could ask a yes
It
or
could
no
help.
question.
I think it could help and split those things. We have a question.
Marina would like to ask a question.
Ask the deck something. Okay.
Way.
Oh, whoops. Short mic. Pulio's going to act out my question. Okay, here we go.
Fabulous.
How can one know for sure whether one is capable of even how can one know for sure whether one is capable of kind of like judging oneself?
Objectively?
No, not objectively. Like, yeah. How do you know? How can you tell if you're a good self-judge? What is there
Okay.
something that shows you that you are a qualified self-judge?
So the two ways I could hear that question are like what characteristics make someone a good judge of oneself, or just like more general, how does one know that?
Yeah, more general. Like, how does
How
one
does-
know what? Like, what? Yeah,
That they're
Like-
that you're like
I guess what? Yeah, okay. Here's a more. What's the difference between knowing and not knowing? That's my question.
just
Sarah.
just that. What is the difference between knowing and not knowing?
What is the subjective experience difference between knowing and not knowing?
What is it? Yeah. Okay, I got it.
Does
I
it
got
feel
you.
different to know and not know? Do we know how that feels? Do we know what knowing feels like? I'm done answering. Or, no, ask.
Yeah. I got it. Yeah. So, what is the difference
We'll cut right
between
to
the
you fully, Ariel.
okay? What is the difference between the experience of knowing and not knowing? Okay, now it's just what is the difference between the internal experience of knowing something versus not knowing something? So I'm going to pull two cards. I'm going to pull a card to represent the experience of not knowing, and then I'm going to pull a card to represent the experience of knowing. Keep pulling the star. Knowing, not knowing. Okay. That's interesting. Thank you, deck. Okay. So I'll kind of do this. Okay. So for the card of this experience of knowing, I have the Guardian of Pentacles, and that's reversed. And then for the card of not knowing, the Sage of Pentacles, and that was upright. So I'm showing, how do I get a good view for you guys? Okay. Actually, I'm going to do it like this so I can be more clear. Okay. So generally, the first thing I'll say is that I'm using my book because I'm a novice. The pentacles generally pertain to things in like the material world. My book says the suit of pentacles deals with our surroundings and what we make of them, how we create them, transform them, and grow them. So in the Rider-Waite tarot deck, which is kind of the most traditional one, pentacles like are coins, and so it's like money in a kind of most straightforward way. So that's interesting. Okay, so Sage of Pentacles, and the Sage in my deck corresponds to the King. So my book says, tap into the highly motivated aspect of your personality, Matching clear progress with a deep inner patience means that sooner or later you'll get to the outcomes you desire. Sometimes a shift can only happen when you stop expecting it. Try to spend time with someone in your life who shows a sense of calm acceptance. So it's interesting that, like, to me, that the experience of not knowing would be represented by this card, because the sage is like the highest face card, which usually represents the end of, or kind of like the culmination of a cycle. It's like having reached like a point of understanding. So it's interesting that it would show up in the placement of, this is the embodied experience of not knowing something, which makes me want to say that, like, I don't know, something about being overly confident about something. Matching clear progress with a deep inner yeah, I mean, honestly, it's confusing to me that this would appear in this placement of this question. But what I'll say is, like, tap into the highly motivated aspect of your personality. And then the three main keywords for this are insight, victory, and stability. The way that I want to interpret this, you know, take it for whatever you want to, or don't take it at all, is that, like, when you're, like, being in a place of stability and certainty, meaning that like, perhaps you're wrong about that, which is actually something that it makes me think of the fact that I was talking to someone recently about people who commit acts of, like, people who commit hate crimes, essentially, towards someone of, like, a member of a certain group, that in their mind they have decided that a certain societal issue, or all societal issues, are due to, like, a member of, or due to this group of people existing, right? And that, like, to carry out an act of violence towards someone in that group because you're so convinced that they are the cause of your suffering or societal issues, it's like such a confidence, such a certainty that I have never experienced in my life, to be so sure that that is the truth, that you are, like, comfortable moving forward, committing the violence. That is what this is making me think of. It's making me think of the experience of being so vehemently certain that something is the case, and that being directly related to the fact that you are wrong. Like, obviously, you know, trans people are not the problem of society. Immigrants are not the reason that, like, poor white people are suffering, right? So, like, the logic behind hate crimes is so wrong and comes from a place of certainty. So my interpretation for this one is going to be, whenever you feel too confident about something, that could be a sign that you're wrong. I also don't like that answer because lends itself to maybe an unnecessary amount of self-doubt. Everything fucking, and that's the thing too with, I guess, that now asking this, like, generalized question, is things are so context specific with this kind of, like, advice. Like, I don't feel comfortable saying as a generalized piece of advice, like, if you feel really sure about something, you're probably wrong. because it completely depends on the situation. So not so I don't know. Take that for how you will. Take that how you will. Okay, so this is interesting. It's the Sage and the Guardian of Pentacles. This is a card right before it. Okay, so and then this is maybe this one will, let's see. So Guardian of Pentacles. And if you're curious, we have the King and the Queen. And the Queen, how about some feminist interpretation? The card that correlates to the Queen card is in the place of knowing, and the King card is in the place of not knowing. So take that how you will. The experience of knowing. Remember that your body is your primary home. Taking care of your physical health also nourishes your emotional self. Listen to your body and respond to needs as they arise. Find a balance between work and play, making space for stillness. Connect with someone in your life who makes you feel more peaceful. Okay. I wish I had just read both of them before I went into an interpretation, because I think that these make much more sense to me as a pair. The experience of knowing is embodied. That is what this card is about. Your body is your primary home. Protection, generosity, and health are the three keywords for this card. So, okay, new interpretation is that the answer is the experience of knowing is an embodied experience. The experience of knowing you will feel in your body. It will be a visceral experience. This card represents a more of a mental insight. The experience of not knowing may exist just more here rather than embodied in a physical sense. So there, that's my interpretation of that question.
Clear as mud. Perfect. It was better than I think we imagined. Thank you.
It made me thinking stuff about things about internal and external, like you had kind of started, but
This is my favorite thing to do, where I just hold mics for other people.
we gotta tell you something about what we're feeling and experiencing and thinking right now. But
I just want to be included. That was that made a lot. It made a lot of sense, I thought. And it was like, but how much of that is us just knowing each other and like talking about all this stuff already and being like, so we're pretty much sort of on the same page, right?
Right. Well, and that's what I was kind of getting to in the first place, is like the cards point to things that already exist. There have been some situations where I asked a question and the answer I got, I was like, oh, I didn't even think of that. Like I came to answers and went down trains of thinking that I wouldn't have without the cards, but the majority of the time when I'm pulling cards, I'm like, yes, I know, deck. Thank you. I know. But
it's right.
Oh, okay. We don't have to have it. We're good.
I was just saying,
I think
it's
I
right
think
there in the card.
this is about where it's fine here.
well, something also that it made me think about towards the end there was, I was like, well, what even is it? What even is knowing, right?
I think that's what I was trying to ask. Like, what is knowing? How do we even have this concept of knowing that exists in the world when I can feel so, and all of us can feel so like fuzzy about it when asked to like actually define it,
Yeah.
Like we base so many things on knowing, but like all of us are so like, yeah, what is knowing?
I think it kind of has to do with faith, but then it's the faith of experiential faith and I wouldn't want to say spiritual faith, but like the faith that you were describing, that someone feels so badly about others that they do harm to them because they feel they're right, or they're trying to deny people their rights.
Like they believe it even
If there's
in lack of an embodied experience with the group in question.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah. I just like that the card that I pulled to represent not knowing is like is it in any other context I would describe this as a card that's representing like someone who has reached a point of like they know a lot. They have a lot of insight and a lot of clarity. But again, it's like in the sort of mental way of things. And logic is not a superior way of knowing. I think
I was relating that to our experience because you said that internal and external locus of control thing. I was relating it to how we understand what that external control is, as in like that kind of stuff continues to happen, or however it is I believe it to be. And I believe that in a sort of way, right? But it's also wrong because we only know so much about what is happening and why it's happening for whatever reason it's happening at all. So that's kind of where I was with that. And then the internal was about, what you can't control with yourself, and the physical, that side of the other cards. So that's what I was feeling. Pass.
Sean, do you have any thoughts?
Sean?
Sean's in here too. Let's lean into the frame, Sean.
Robin, I'll leave.
Yeah, the feeling of knowing for sure is something to doubt.
Exactly.
I go? Okay. One of my favorite song lyrics that I've written recently is my heart thinks it's on firm ground, because I'm trying to just like describe the feeling of like my heart being like, yeah, okay, I got this, I'm feeling something. And it's like an embodied experience, but it's like it literally feels like my heart is working out like a logic puzzle,
Whoa.
Yeah. You can't think through your feelings. I think that's. Is that what you're saying?
No, I think
that's kind of what I heard.
I think what I'm saying is like I seem to think that I can think through my feelings despite I probably can't, but I keep like trying,
That's all we can do.
Hey, what's the probability
Whoa.
if I have 72 cards and they're ordered 1 through 72? What's the probability that I would pull 2 consecutive cards? Like 1, 2, 5, 6.
Isn't that the n times or n plus?
Yeah, but then you have
equation?
to like subtract as you multiply it by the number of the remaining ones. You have to like subtract 1 each time.
1 in 72.
We can write a spreadsheet.
1 in 71.
I always think about probability when certain things happen with the cards, because that's what just happened. I pulled 2 consecutive cards, and I'm like, that's not super probable. But
And if we were making a pattern, we'd be like, oh, that's how it works. You pull consecutive cards based on this experience we just had.
Yes, based on only this experience, we will forever be pulling consecutive cards any randomly shuffled deck them.
that would be amazing.
I mean, we could fund some shit. If we
That would mean that probability is not
swear jar.
what we think it is.
Oh.
Because if every time I pulled,
Predestined.
if every time I pulled 2 cards, they were always consecutive, we're not even. I mean, the probability.
Always random.
But that's,
Random doesn't mean non-consecutive.
Yeah. But not necessarily.
I think we're all.
That's all I got.
We don't know enough to
Yeah.
really do anything about this.
Yeah, let's get some
live.
card counters on here.
If anyone knows a philosophy major we can bring in to consult next week.
Any card sharks?
Yeah.
Oh,
There it is.
I play a lot of cribbage, and there's a lot of times where you end up with consecutive cards or the same card, but they're not consecutive in the deck because the other one's going to somebody else. They're like one away from each other, and it's too much. Too much for this little mind to bear.
Well, as much as we don't know about this, there are some things that we do know.
Yes.
What do we
Stuff
know?
that's coming up this week.
Wait, can I interrupt?
Yes, go
Just
for it.
because it was unplanned, but I was like, well, yeah, we're no card sharks, but we might be a stencil shark.
Oh, yeah.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
And
Always.
now back to the scheduled announcements.
Well, they're coming, but I just found out we gotta do them now. So to start off with, let's go ahead and congratulate all the first run of Cal Poly Humboldt's graduates.
Do you want to stay on with us, Fig? Or should we?
I have
sign
one.
off?
I have one announcement. Keep me on.
Okay.
So yeah, congratulations to all the graduates out there. Yeah, that shit is not super simple and easy, and for some people it means a lot, some people it doesn't, but just like anything else, we get stuff done. So that's cool. Congratulations out there. Wish you the best on all the stuff that's coming up with whatever it is you do, what you're learning about, and how that grows some more in your life. But up this week? No, it's not this week. It's on the 21st and the 28th in Eureka at the Synapses Collective. The Only Skin Deep is happening, and it's the Child Edition. It's an evening of art, poetry, and dance by the Humboldt creators of indigenous, Pan-African, Latinx, Asian, and mixed heritage folks. So it's a place that there'll be some light mingling, some refreshments and pop, art gallery. There's performances and spoken poetry. There's all sorts of things about the child and this Only Skin Deep at Synapses in Eureka.
Where's that at, Julio?
It's right on 1675 Union Street in Eureka, California.
Right near the old DMV.
That's right. And they're taking a sliding scale of up to $20. So yeah, check it out. It's pretty cool.
And no one turned away for lack of funds.
Not a flaw.
It's true.
Another thing, just to mention real quick, on Friday, Los Perdidos is playing out there at Papa and Barkley. We've been out there one other time with Jackie and the Jollies. Thanks to them for having us be a part of that, because now we get to do it again. We're excited. If you're into being at an outside show, it's their 1-year anniversary of that, Papa and Barkley. I'm surprised they can remember. Just kidding. I don't know. It's a dispensary. It's a joke. So, and that's kind of what
That's a good one. Oh, darn it.
Well then, that was unexpected. It does seem we are back up and running. Thank you for bearing with us. Mercury being in Gatorade. Things happen. What has happened is I kicked the plug out of the wall. That one's on me. That's my bad. But we do have a few more announcements. Another little bit with you here. Thank you for sticking with us thus far. On Monday nights, starting a weekly art critique, Judy art critique, with Erica Botkin, who was a teacher at CR and HSU doing photography.
Can you raise this mic for me?
What's up?
Well, we're back. I kicked
I
the
can't
plug
hear
out
you
of the wall.
guys.
So we're looks like something prepared musically behind us, in front of us. What else we heard? What else was going on?
What
Oh,
about
at life.drawing.club. Oh,
Oh no, you're nothing.
hear nothing. So we might be live, we might be not. I believe things look here. I see green lights. I have faith. This is a perfect example of the known unknowns. That we're trusting that we are being broadcast through the internet to your ear holes. We'll check our playback devices. To your ear holes. Ooh, quite a delay. We'll check our playback devices. So let's take it live to the other side of the room now. I see a guitar. I'm gonna unmute the channels here. Sharks! Oh no, sharks!
It's how the sharks sound.
We're live. It's live.
They kind of sound like geese, you know.
It's-
They kind of honk a little.
Sound is different underwater.
But that, yeah. Something about travel impotence, I'm sure. Yeah.
Did you say impotence?
Impotence.
Impedance.
Well, I say
Impotence?
I say impotence
Sound travels differently through water due to impotence.
due to the impotence of the sound waves in a fluid medium. Anyway, this is our semi-improvised group project called Stencil Shark, which is a fake surf band that we're all in. Here's the first Stencil Shark jam. I think I'm calling it Flight of the Stencil Shark. Sean, come in very slowly after Julio and I sync up perfectly. Thanks. And that's Flight of the Stencil Shark. I didn't really have more than that planned, except I might have an animation that's exported onto my laptop at this point, so we could totally do a thing where if we could plug my laptop audio into the audio interface. Brandon, is that a thing that we can do?
I'd certainly have to go cable digging.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, we could just hold up the mic to it. Oh my God, we can old school it.
I mean,
Yeah.
I had the same thought at the
Yeah.
same time.
Okay. Oh, I guess we're already all up
Yeah.
here. We could totally do a thing.
Just go
this
for
song.
it.
Sweet, let's do it. The song is called Not That Kind of Person. It's the song in which I'm struggling to figure out whether I can trust myself or not. Oh yeah, it's D, E minor, G, and G minor off as A. Should I face in a way where you can see me? Oh yeah, okay. Well, too bad, because I'm moving. Okay.
If you took another step back, we could see Sean back there. Stand right on all the cables and everything. It'll be perfect.
Well, we could also move the thing
I'll
over
move. You
the
do-
tripod.
y'all play, I'll move the things.
Okay. What time is it? Perfect. Time to keep playing songs. I was excited to hold up my laptop to the camera, but fine. Bonus. Yeah, I should probably keep working on it. Sorry, this is very much. Yeah. Is information ever gone? The air's growing still, but I'm feeling a chill. When's it ever the right weather for a short sleeve sweater? Is it ever the right weather? Getting lost in my mind, trying to decide or define what it means. Just what it means when you say you're not that kind of person. Should play the right chords. Not that kind of person. Ooh, my mind is filled with doubt, but ooh, my heart thinks it's on firm ground. Now the wind's picking up, and I've emptied my cup. When's it ever the right time to say you changed your mind? Is it ever the right time? Cause I'm starting to think there is no such thing as that kind of person.
person. No, you simply cannot be. No, you simply cannot be. No, you simply cannot be. You're not that kind of person. And that's the show.
That was lovely.
I think.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. We're at 101 and a half. So
Cool. We could.
we'll
I
get
mean,
to edit
yeah,
out the
lots
dead-
of black.
the
Maybe
dead
that's
time.
where my animation can go.
Yeah, or we just leave this in and cut that out, and they won't know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So what?
Oh
is,
yeah.
what is real?
How do we
You
know?
tell me what's real.